What's up everyone, my name's Joshman. Not a lot of people have seen a lot of Australia's moments, but there's a lot of things that I grew up with that kind of made me want to keep playing the game. And we're gonna go through a bunch of them today and show you what we're all about, and we're gonna rank them. So to start off, there's an absolutely classic Australian melee moment, SD versus Decker. Everything looks bad, the game's crumbling around him, and that resourceful son of a pulled out the cloud. Gets like 50 up Bs onto the cloud, is like constantly just recovering when he looks like it's completely over. And then in the clutch, does the classic Decker and just run up and just hits him with the fattest tipper in the middle of the stage and just wins game 4. Decker has a golden jacket that says The Entertainer on the back of it, and I feel like this set just like captivates that to a T. Because after game 4, SD's mental is just completely shattered. Game 5 boots up, and I remember it just being one of the most disgusting 4 stocks I've ever seen in my life. It's just one of the best moments in Australian history. So for me, I would have to put SD and Decker into the S tier. It's just one of those moments that you have to see if you're an Australian melee player, and honestly, even if you're across the pond. So on the topic of The Entertainer, this was actually my first interstate tournament at BAM. It was honestly my first major, which was so sick. Decker versus Psych. These guys are playing for 33rd, by the way. Both of these players were amazing at the time. Decker is just down 4 stocks to 1, playing his Captain Falcon. He's renowned for just playing so many different characters, but he's on Captain Falcon against Marth, and Decker's just hitting your classic up air combos. He's just so locked in. He's calling out everything Psych is doing, and just the way it ends as well is just a nasty stomp into a crazy find on a reverse knee. Oh man, that one, I wouldn't say it's an S tier one, just because there's just other moments Decker specifically has been in that just kind of trump it. But it's a solid A tier. That one is an absolutely solid A tier moment. All right, so this is gonna be one of the first times we talk about Spud in this video, who most people should know. He's retired now. He was the best player in Oz for a while before I got Turbo Nasty and he retired. No one really knew who he was at the time, at all really. He rocked up to the tournament in a little suit, which was pretty cool. And the Americans were kind of just, for lack of a better word, shitting on everyone pretty bad. And then Spud and Alex19 sit down and we're kind of treated to just this monstrous gameplay. It's pretty funny because we used to play on PAL at the time. No one really told Alex you could media cancel Marth's down air. So he's getting skadooshed by the down air and everyone's just like, shh, don't tell this guy, this shouldn't be killing right now. That was a really important moment for Oz history because it kind of showed that we have what it takes. But just seeing the energy in the room, the camera was honestly in the perfect spot. You just see everyone freaking out and popping off. That one just has to be S tier. That's when I felt like we really got on the map as a country. So the next moment I want to talk about is at Battle Arena Melbourne 8. Bud was just kind of the God King, while SA Nick, who he would end up fighting in Grands, lost in winners quarters to Wibbles the Ice Climbers and just went on an absolutely God tier losers run, just beating like pretty much all the best players in the country at the time. Grands boots up and it's just like, okay, it's going to be the Spud show. But Nick just played in a way that kind of deconstructed Spud and put him on the back foot, which we just hadn't seen yet because the guy was just playing so clean. I remember just being there, I was just like, whoa, this is some sick rivalry stuff. And just seeing someone kind of come in through the dirt after losing to an Ice Climbers and having your brain shattered in half to win the whole thing, that one's just gotta be S tier for me. To round off the trilogy of events, SA Nick versus Spud at DAD 2, they finally meet at the next major, and Spud just, I don't even think Massacre describes it. It was just such a bloodbath of a set. He hurt him bad, man. Spud did not like that at all. And I remember very fondly SA Nick coming off the stage after the bloodbath we all had to witness, and he's just all hail posting. He's just like, he's the GOAT. He's the best. How could I ever beat a guy like that? And I'm like, oh, it's okay, man. You'll get him next time. He's like, I'd be lucky to even get it next time. It'd be a privilege to sit down in the setup with that guy. I've never seen someone so mentally boomed in my life as that moment. He just became Spud's #1 fan, almost like a Pikmin. He's just like, anytime Spud did anything, he's like, he's the best, man. Well, it was a privilege to beat him in a set. That one has to be a B tier moment just because of dealing with someone after they've just been owned that hard. I feel like if you've ever gone to a local and had to comfort your friends after they lost to a down smashing Peach, you know the vibe. It's not the greatest, but just it gets B tier just because of how brutal the set was. That kind of redeems it. All right, so not all of these moments are big majors, who's gonna win the tournament ones. One was from the Arcadian, It was Takano versus Trinic. I wasn't in the venue, I was in Sydney at the time. It was the Melbourne Arcadian. And Takano, great guy by the way, takes it over Trinic, the ISIS player, which he did not like very much. Trinic, I've heard whispers and tales of this moment, gets up and just goes bang through a plastic chair and just tears it asunder. I think he like cut his hand or whatever afterwards, but he was just seething with so much rage that he didn't even really care. Everyone in the venue thought it was pretty hilarious. I think it gets a C tier for me though, just because I wasn't there, and gamer rage can be pretty intense, but it is yet again a classic moment. Speaking of Arcadians, it has to be the winners final set between Emps and Dean. The pre-law for that is Emps has chugged 2 Red Bulls, 2 liters of Coke, and Kalen jokingly goes like, "You want me to top up that Coke, man?" He goes, "Oh, can you, man?" So this guy's just, you can't make eye contact with him without him going, He's just vibrating on the setup. Clutch win from Emps. He gets the dub and just hits the Rocket Man and just flies into the sky, which leads to an absolutely iconic photo. It doesn't get too high on the list just because Emps doesn't win the tournament. So it's gonna have to be a B from me, but it's still really funny. So this one I remember all too well. It's Battle Arena Melbourne 9. I'm in winners quarters against SD, who is just the absolute goat fox of Australia. And I'm just a little guy. I'm just a humble little guy from Sydney. And we go to sit down for the set. I've never been more nervous in my life. I don't remember much of the set because I was just so freaked out. It's just like, oh my God, this is my moment. All I remember is game 5. It's just a pit fight happens. It's down to the wire. Last stock, we're both super high percent. And I remember just being like, God, please let this dash attack hit. Barely clips his wave dash back. I feel like it barely killed. Sam said he knew he was dead. And I remember just getting up and being like, holy shit, it's over. I get rushed by everyone from New South Wales. They're like, you fucking did it, man. You're in winner's side, top 8. You made it to Sunday. I've honestly, throughout my 10-year Melee career, never felt anything quite like that. It's just the first, and it hits so unbelievably hard. An extremely biased S tier for me. Honestly, one of the main reasons I keep playing the game right now. It meant so much to me. I feel like now in the Oz scene, it's like nothing but love. State rivalries have kind of died down a lot, but at the time, when we were all like really into it, the old guard, there was a big beef between Microsoft J and Kai. Not even over anything like serious, it was who has the best secondary Roy. Kai hitting an iconic screenshot just saying, I don't ever see you succeeding, which is just brutal. But Geordie hits the perfect clapback and just makes an entire diss track called Ode to Roy that was just absolutely flames. If you have never heard it, you just have to listen to it. It's so sick.
Out of bracket, let me lay it down real quick. The Roy is like your fashion, only you think it's slick.
They set up a $200 money match at the Salty Suite before another one of the BAMs. And I remember just that venue being wall to wall packed, just a CRT set up in the middle of the room. It goes down to last game, and I'll never forget Geordie winning the set and hitting Kai with just the coolest fist bump, gets instantly rushed by Geordie's boy Gooch, and just everyone's losing their minds. And someone, God bless their soul, whoever had the camera at the time, snaps the most iconic image. That was the Smash Discord in Australia's like server image for ages. It was just perfect. It is oops all S tier, but it's just another S tier moment. It's just so awesome. All right, we've talked about the entertainer a decent amount, but he's just got so many insane moments. This was kind of after Dekar wasn't like one of the best in the country anymore. It was Dekar versus Nangs. I was blessed enough to be behind the TV at the time when this happened, and Dekar is known as more of a mind games player, a bit of a dead term. Nangs does a wave dash off Nair, if I'm remembering correctly. Dekar hits the craziest. It's like a wall tech dunk off of Battlefield. Someone hid a phone recording of it. I don't know where that is now, but holy shit, I was like head in hands. I couldn't believe what I just saw. Like, how does the magic keep hitting every single time? It wasn't to win a set or anything like that. It was still an awesome moment. So it's getting a very solid A tier from me. There was something about Bear Mate that just had so many insane moments that being there was just so sick. It's kind of just spoiled me as like a first major. Cal versus Muscat. If you're an Aussie player, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Muscat switches to Sheik versus Marth, which is like, oh shit, what is this? It leads into this last stock, truly disgusting melee. It is just truly feral gameplay where it was a battle of who wanted it less. Oh, I can't even describe it. So many choked edge guards, dropped punishes, dog shit recoveries, but it's what the game's about. And it just ends in the most disgusting way. It was just like Muscat air dodging off the stage or something like that. And little me, I was like, ooh, I like hop out of my chair. And I'd only been playing for a little bit, so I'm like, oh, it's all good, man. These things happen. And Muscat's like, get the fuck away from me. And I was like, oh, okay. My bad, man. Forgive me. It's an S tier. It's an S tier. It's just amazing. It's just, it was just so fucking funny. So when like BAM 11 came around, I'd only gone to the US like once or twice beforehand with pretty middling placements. I'd shown that I was like okay at the game, but didn't really do anything that was like extraordinary. I think my best win was like Smash Daddy at the time or something like that. So going back to Oz for a few years and just practicing and having no way to showcase how hard I'd been working was so frustrating for me. So when BAM 11 rolled around and Professor Pro came, I remember the seeding made it so we played in winners semis. And I'm pretty nervous usually at tournaments, but this is one of those times where more than nerves, I felt so excited to play against someone who I'd never played against, who was top 50 at the world at the time. I was so hungry for it. And I remember just playing unbelievably confident, hitting like fat reads, some like crazy up airs on some recoveries and stuff like that. And I end up winning the set and hitting an EMS tier jump into the sky. And I see, while midair, everything was like, I felt like Spider-Man. I see Prof's fist hanging there, so I kind of just hit it with a Hulk smash, calm down, go, bah! Sorry about that, Prof, my bad. Oh, I'll never forget the crowd just cheering and screaming. My housemate at the time, Zai, one of my best mates, is just in tears and he's like, you fucking did it, man. We won't talk about losers finals where I get creamed pretty bad. I did deserve that for punching the guy's fist. That moment isn't really iconic as hard as a bunch of the other S tiers. So even though that moment was really important to me, it gets a very solid A tier. All right, so for this last one, it's gonna be yet again BAM 11. It's gonna be SA Nick versus Sock. Nick was still an absolute titan at the time. And it's a really clutch moment on Pokemon Stadium. Classic transformation comes up. It's the tree. And now heralded as the SA Nick Graveyard is that little part in the tree where Sock just starts going to town with the tech skill. Just your classic drill shines, cleans it up into a beautiful conversion to win the set. And I remember Nick just hitting the laugh like, oh God, what's just happened? Sock hits a fat pop off. I was really like happy for Sock at the time because I was just like, wow, that is a moment you will never forget in your whole life. And it was really sick. It gets a very, very solid B tier placement from me. Thank you everyone for watching. And I want to give a huge shout out to Shopify for getting me to Phantom. It's been an honor to share all these memories with you guys because without this community, I wouldn't be the player or the person that I am today. I wouldn't sit down at the setup and just game like I do. Honestly, the Oz community means the absolute world to me. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys. It would also mean a lot to me if you liked and subscribed as well, because it lets us keep doing stuff like this.